Hi, on today's video I wanted to show you how to swap old non-working controller with the new 2020 updated controller. When you will have this controller, you might think it's a different part, it's not compatible, it's not direct match, because there is lots of different colors of the wires and shape of the plug, like this main plug is different shape, and the name on the stickers will be different, but don't worry about that. It's all okay. It's all plug and play basically, except these two main connections, which is the main plug and the throttle handle. So I will show you how to connect this and with really easy modifications. So this is exactly the same diagram of controller and all of the components that you have on your ATV. And when you turn it on, it doesn't go. When you switch the motor, the switch, it doesn't go anywhere. So you know that one of the components is faulty, and you already been, I'm hoping you've been watching my previous videos how to test this handle and this controller. So let's try to unhook everything and start from the scratch, each component individually. So let's unhook the battery. To be on the safe side, you will need a flat screwdriver to unhook the actual controller from the switch. So charging port unhooked, and then you need to unhook the 3-speed switch. Okay, so the switch is off now, and then we will unhook the throttle handle, ignition switch, 2 brakes, and the 2 wires that are going to the switch, yellow and blue. Okay, so the controller is completely unhooked. We have the rest of the components, same as you have on your ATV. And let's try to put this one and hook it up the same way. So same colors, yellow and blue wire going into the switch. So you will have to connect the yellow wire right here. Okay, and then your blue wire will be going here. Okay, we got that. Okay, now the next would be, let's hook it up, the speed switch. The speed switch, the 2 black wires will go to the top of the switch. So the switch will have, it doesn't matter which top, actually, it's all the same. So the switch will go, the 2 black wires will go to the top, and the yellow and orange will go on the bottom. So the yellow will go right here, right on the left hand side, if you look at the switch. and the last one, and the orange will go on the bottom. Okay, now as you can see, this is your speed switch. Two black on the top, yellow and orange on the bottom. It doesn't matter which direction of the switch you're going to connect it to. Okay, now you're going to have a bunch of wires. One of them is going to say charge. So on your old controller is going to say charger. On the newer one it's just going to say charge, which is the same thing. So you're going to plug in your charging port. So that's pretty simple. Next, you are going to have a power switch plug. That would be exactly the same plug as would be saying on your old controller. It says lock, which means ignition lock. So power switch and ignition lock, it's the same thing. So we're going to plug in your ignition switch. Okay, it's pretty simple also. Now you have a plugs that say brake. So the brake will be exactly the same plug as on your old controller. It also says brake. So you're going to connect it to your brake handle. And same with your other brakes. It will go to the left and the right hand side. Another brake handle. Now on the new controller you will also find plug that's going to say brake lights. So don't get confused with the brake plug. It's two different plugs. So brake connects to the brake handle. Brake lights connects to your brake lights if you have one. But on the older machines it was not available yet. So leave it alone and don't connect to anything. Remember that 38 volts coming out from this plug. So if you will connect the handle to this 38 volts, and if you will press the handle, it has a switch built inside. It will shorten this 38 volts and you will burn the controller. So don't use this plug if your machine does not have a rear tail light. Okay, so leave it, plug it into your brakes. All right, now you're going to see the plugs that says indicator. Indicator would be exactly the same plug as on your old controller that was saying battery capacity. Battery capacity or indicator, it's the same thing, which is a 38 volts. That would be power to power up your headlights or your gear indicators, gear switch indicators. Well, I don't have one here, so I cannot show you, but you know what I'm talking about. If you have an older machine with this type of a controller, it used to come with a neutral and reverse light. So you will need those that indicator plug to power up those lights, those little bulbs on the steering handle, and for your headlights. So this is a 38 volts. So we're going to leave it unused right now at my in my case. So you're not going to use an indicator for anything unless it's a headlight or your gear switch indicator. Now another one, you're going to have one more brake plug. It's going to be by itself. You're not going to use it, so leave it alone. It's an optional if you would have a brake pedal, for example, so you can actually connect it to that switch. It would be exactly the same as you would have a brake handle, except you can connect the brake pedal. And you're gonna have one more, which is unmarked plug with the 3 pins. It doesn't say nothing, but this is for your alarm. So if you have an older machine, you don't have any alarm and you don't have any remote, but it's possible that you can buy it extra and purchase it separately from the Rosso website, and you can plug into this plug and you can have an alarm. So So basically everything is connected except the power right now, and the main power plug, and the throttle. Now the throttle handle is going to be completely different than what you had on your handle and your old controller, and even the wires are different. So it's a different shape of the plugs. So you will have to remove actually these two plugs, one of them that says throttle, and another one is a separate blue wire. It doesn't say nothing, but that's actually your yellow wire from your one of the 4 wires on a older controller. So to connect this and this, you have to reuse your old plug and swap it with your new controller. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So you will need a tiny screwdriver, tiny flat screwdriver, and you are going to pull out those pins from this plug. Just to reuse this plastic piece. That's all you need. Forget about this controller from now on. Now you have this plug that you are going to plug it directly. But how are you going to connect those colors? I'm going to show you, and I actually wrote you on a piece of paper which one is which one. So black wire is your blue wire. So let's see, I'm going to pull out this black wire from here. I'm going to pull out all of them actually, because I'm not going to use this plug anymore. Okay, and I'm going to pull out this one also. So now you have same 4 wires, same on your throttle handle. So let's follow the same order that I wrote you on a piece of paper. So black is blue on your handle plug. So I have a blue which is on this corner, right here in this corner, blue, and I have a black right here. So I have to align this black with this blue. So don't forget, when I've been pulling out those wires from this plug, I've been pushing this metal tab right here. I've been pushing with my screwdriver this metal tab. Now I have to pull it up to make it click it in place on all 4 of them. You see that? I hope that you can see that. Now when those middle tabs are up, I can click it in place. So I'm not going to use those plastic plugs anymore. I'm going to use the old from your old controller male plug. So black on your controller, which is this, going to the blue wire, and the blue in this corner one more time. So I'm going to click it in place. Now it's tight. So as you can see, I'm going to get closer. So this and this are aligned in that lower corner. Now I have a green on my throttle handle, and it will be connected to gray. So gray wire and the green wire are the same. So gray and green. So my green is gray right here in this corner, right here, which is right here. Red is red. I wrote on this piece of paper that it's exactly the same. So that's going to this corner. And the last wire that we have, which is blue, would be yellow. As you see, blue with a single wire. That would be a yellow. So this is how we connect the throttle. Red and red, gray and green, blue and black, and the blue with a red stripe with a yellow. Okay? So I hope that you understand all of that. And now the last would be how we're going to swap this power plug, which is not this, it's not just a color, it's a different shape. So unfortunately, yeah, you will have to cut your old plug from your controller, would be the best way in your case, and strip that wire. Same as here, you will have to cut this newer plug because you don't have a newer connection. If you would buy, you can buy this new plug and connect it directly to the battery, but if you don't want to spend extra $20 or whatever they charge you for this wire, then you can just reuse your old plug to your new controller. Okay. Okay, now I have these electrical connectors and I'm going to connect it. It has a thread inside, so it's going to connect those wires together. Okay, so now we have a new controller with the only two modified plugs, which is this one that you don't have to do any cuts, you just need a small screwdriver to align those wires, and we're going to hook it up to our new power. Okay, so it's going to make little spark, but don't worry about that, that's normal. Okay, now let's see what we have here. We have blue and a yellow wire connected to the switch, as you see. Okay, now we have throttle handle connected, 4 wires to 4 wires. We have some plugs left over because we don't have an alarm, we don't have a brake lights, and we have an extra indicator which is a 38 volt capacity and another indicator because I don't have a headlights here to connect it. But the rest of the wires are connected successfully, which is brakes, brake handles, which is a ignition lock, main power, and the charging socket. So let's turn it on, the handle, and see if it's going to work. We have lights, so that's a good sign. My switch is working okay, and let's see if we're going to have power on the motor. And we have power. If we switch the speed, it's a slow speed, gear number 1. This is gear number 3, and this is gear number 2. So, and let's try if we have reverse. Yes, it's all working. So as you see, the only modification you had to do is cut the old plug from your main power plug from your old controller and connect it directly. By the way, use electrical tape to tape it over because this connection might get loose over time from the vibration. You know how to connect the speed switch, 2 black wires on the top, yellow and orange on the bottom. And the most important is your throttle handle. So this is the color wires going from the new controller to the throttle handle. Okay, hopefully it was clear and understandable for you. Thank you. Bye.